Good afternoon and welcome to the lunchtime news here on TV1. For the News First team, the voice of the people, I'm Senitha Senanayaka. Before we take a look at the stories for this afternoon in detail, let's first take a look at the headlines.
Minor tremors reported from the environs of Yala. Digital vaccination cards to be issued from the 15th of September. China People's Liberation Army to donate 300,000 Sinopharm vaccines to Sri Lanka. World Bank halts aid to Afghanistan after Taliban takeover.
In one of your headline-making stories, the Geological Survey and Mines Bureau said that no damage has been reported following the minor tremor occurred from the area surrounding the Yala National Park yesterday.
A magnitude 1.5 minor tremor was experienced in Yala Block 1 close to Situlpawa last night, shortly after 9:15 p.m. According to our correspondent, the tremor was felt by residents in villages situated in close proximity to Lunugambehera, Beralihela and Sinimulla. Villagers point out the tremor which shook the ground lasted for around a minute.
Around 5 minutes earlier, a small tremor was felt in Lunugambehera. We were not aware until we came out of our houses. Suddenly everything started shaking. Then I called some of my friends in Debaravawa and Tissamaharama to check. They said they too felt the tremor.
Chairman of the Geological Survey and Mines Bureau, Anuravalpola, stated discussions with the disaster management officials will be carried out today. A minor tremor was reported at 9:20 p.m. in the south of Sri Lanka. The tremor experienced in Kataragama, Situlpawa and around Yala Zone 1 was recorded at 1.5 in the Richter scale. It was recorded at all 4 seismic stations. We are hoping to have discussions with the Monoragala District Secretariat and the disaster management officers regarding this. Meanwhile, an investigation conducted by the Tissamaharama irrigation engineers this morning has revealed that the Lunugambehera Reservoir Dam was not damaged due to the tremor. Earlier yesterday, a tremor measuring magnitude 5.1 was reported from the Bay of Bengal, some 600 kilometers north of the Jaffna Peninsula. Director General of the Department of Meteorology, Atula Karunanayaka, said no impact on Sri Lanka occurred following the tremor. Upon inquiry, Chairman of the Geological Survey and Mines Bureau, Anuravalpola, said Sri Lanka was not impacted by the tremor. Meanwhile, a magnitude 5 tremor shook the Indian Ocean south of Sri Lanka on the 16th of this month. The tremor, which occurred about 1,000 kilometers south of Sri Lanka in the Indian Ocean, had no effect on the country. Do you remember 9 tremors reported within the span of 3 months from multiple areas surrounding Digana, Kandy? 4 tremors reported on the same day, on the 5th of December last year. Large-scale dolomite excavations reported from the area, coupled with massive explosions. Minister of Environment appoints expert committee to probe the tremors. Expert committee report is issued, citing a plethora of causes for the tremors. Dolomite excavations on the boundary of the Victoria Reservoir banned. Recommendations to further probe the tremors. Is it wise to disregard 9 tremors reported from a specific area within the span of 3 months?
Taking a look at the Covid-19 situation in the country, Army Commander General Shavendra Silva says 51% of the population in Sri Lanka above the age of 30 have been fully vaccinated. Speaking to News First, the Army Commander urged senior citizens who are 60 years and above to obtain the vaccine as soon as possible.
Vaccinations are being carried out in multiple areas at present. Vaccination centers aimed at inoculating senior citizens above the age of 60 have also been set up. We want to urge all our senior citizens in every district to obtain the jab immediately. We also wish to notify the relatives of senior citizens to contact the army camp closest to your location or the medical officer of health and to direct them to the inoculation process. More than 51% of those aged above 30 have been fully vaccinated by now. Meanwhile, 190 COVID-19 deaths were confirmed on Monday, the 23rd of August, raising total fatalities in Sri Lanka to 7,750. Another 4,446 COVID-19 cases were reported from the island yesterday, the 24th of August. The total COVID-19 caseload in the country stands at 398,801. 2,386 COVID-19 patients recovered yesterday.
The China People's Liberation Army has donated a consignment of Sinopharm vaccines to the Sri Lanka Army. Army Commander General Shavendra Silva said the relevant consignment is expected to arrive in the island on the 28th of this month. The China People's Liberation Army has donated 300,000 Sinopharm doses to Sri Lanka's armed forces. Authorities have decided to issue a digital vaccination card to those who have been fully vaccinated from the 15th of September. Minister of Health Kelly Rambukwala said the government intends to fully vaccinate 75% of those above the age of 30 by the first week of September. A vaccination centre to inoculate those employed in the apparel sector in the Galle district was set up in Gonapinuwala, conducted by the Gonapinuwala Medical Officer of Health. Although people had been notified to arrive at the Dikoya Base Hospital today to obtain the second dose of the Sinopharm vaccine, hospital authorities had later announced vaccines had not been received. Thereafter, the hospital staff had requested the crowd to remain at the premises until 2 p.m. to obtain the vaccine. However, our correspondent said some of the people had returned to their homes.
A program to dole out 2,000 rupees to those who have lost their livelihoods in light of the quarantine curfew that is in effect was carried out at the 4 Gravats Divisional Secretariat in Galle today. Our correspondent said the 2,000 rupees allowance was distributed to 58 families who do not receive any government benefits. Even when we provided the 5,000 rupee allowance through the village committees, we identified who has lost their livelihoods. At first, there were around 450,000 individuals in the Colombo district who needed this allowance. And among these people, there were some who already received other government benefits as well. This time, when we removed those who are getting other government benefits, like the Samudhi beneficiaries, still there are some who needs this allowance. Many of these are simple businessmen who toiled hard to earn a small living. This time we targeted such individuals when distributing this allowance. So far, we have identified around 300,000 within the Colombo district who needs this allowance. And we have already initiated the distribution process of this 2,000 rupee allowance.
අඳුනගෙන තිනවා අපි මේ වෙනකොටත් ඒ රුපියල් 2000 ගෙවීම් කටයුතු මේ කතා කරන මොහොතේ අපි ආරම්භ කරලා තියෙනවා.
Opposition members of the Alahara Pradesh Sabha in Polonnaruwa district donated their salaries for the month of August to the COVID-19 fund, pursuant to a request made by the chairman of the Pradesh Sabha, Janaka Nalin Kumara. The opposition members donated their salaries voluntarily. Economic centres situated island-wide are open even today for wholesale trading. Vegetable pricing at the Manning market in Palagoda had dropped by today compared to yesterday due to reduced demand from buyers. The Palagoda fish market was also open for business today, and traders pointed out prices of fish had risen slightly compared to yesterday.
Former Minister and current General Secretary of the Sri Lanka Samasamaja Party, Professor Tissa Vitarana, says discussions within parties were held prior to addressing a letter to the President requesting for an island-wide lockdown to be imposed. He further revealed the SLFP did not attend the discussion.
ශ්‍රී ලංකා නිදහස් පක්ෂය මොකද මේ ලියුමට අත්සන් කරේ නැත්තේ? ඔවුන් එකකද උන් නැද්ද? ඔවුන්ට ඔබතුමාලා ආරාධනා කරේ නැද්ද?
සාකච්ඡාවක් තිබ්බා. ඒ සාකච්ඡාවට ඒගොල්ලන්ට ආරාධනය කළා.
ඔවුන් ආවේ නැහැ.
නම් ආවේ නැහැ. ඉතින් හිතපු අය අත්සන් කරලා මේක ඉදිරිපත් කළා.
ඒකෙන් රට වහන්න ඒගොල්ලෝගේ උමනාවක් තිබුණ නැද්ද ශ්‍රී ලංකා නිදහස් පක්ෂය?
මොනවා නම් දන්නේ.
කොහොමද ඔබතුමාලා අනිත් පක්ෂවලින් ආරාධනා කරලා තිබුණේ?
ඔව් අපි මේ සියලු පක්ෂවලට මේ ආරාධනය කළා.
ඔය සාකච්ඡාවට සහභාගී වෙන්නේ නැහැ ශ්‍රී ලංකා නිදහස් පක්ෂ නියෝජනය කරමින් කවුරුත්?
නෑ.
කැබිනට් එකේදී මේ ආවාද කරන දේ බැලලා දෙන ආරංචි කරනවා මේ විමල් ලැබතුමාට ගම්මන්පිල ලැබතුමාට වාසුදේව ලැබතුමාට බැලලා දෙන මේක මෙහෙම ඒගොල්ලෝ වෙන තැන් වල කුමන්ත්‍රණ කරලා මෙහෙම කරා කියලා.
වෙන්න පුළුවන් මොන
පොට්ටුව කියන විදිහට මේ කුමන්ත්‍රණ නෙවෙයිනේ කුමන්ත්‍රණ නෙවෙයිනේ
මොන කුමන්ත්‍රණයක්ද මේ කුමන්ත්‍රණයක් නෙවෙයි.
නෑ මං හිතන්නේ ওই ප්‍රශ්නෙට හොඳ උත්තරයක් කීයේ ඩලස්.
I think Minister Dallas Alahaperuma gave a better answer yesterday. There he clarified whether those individuals were present at the cabinet meeting when the decision was taken and whether that decision was properly communicated to them. Even the Prime Minister held a discussion with the Cabinet of Ministers and clarified the miscommunications. And by now, we have given our clear stance on those miscommunications. I think it's always better to set aside your personal ideologies when passing such comments. And I believe Minister Gamini Lokuge expressed what he felt about this.
ගාමිණී ලෝකයේ ඇමතුමා කරපු ප්‍රකාශය තුල එතුමා දකින්න පැත්ත කතා කරන්නේ නැති.
Residents of villages situated in the vicinity of Mahiyangana are living in constant fear due to the threat of wild elephant encroachments.
Residents of 60 Grama Seva divisions out of a total of 72 in Mahiyangana are threatened by wild elephant encroachments. According to our correspondent, it is currently the harvest reaping season in the area and farmers lament wild elephant encroachments have intensified as a result. Area residents revealed wild elephants that encroach on their village in search of food eventually cause significant property damage as well. Marauding elephants had damaged 2 houses yesterday. Newsfirst is in possession of amateur footage recorded of an encroaching wild elephant. Elephants have completely destroyed multiple cultivations including banana and maize. Wild elephants that roam the reserve surrounding the Mahaveli River and Surabura River during the day have made a habit out of encroaching into villages at dusk. We chased them away during the day. We were woken up by the sound of it destroying our home.
While elephants destroy our houses in search of food, we are helpless. Not just me. Everyone in this village is suffering.
Meanwhile, the herd of wild elephants had encroached into the Porathipatar Vella valley in Batiklo yesterday. Our correspondent said wildlife officials arrived at the location and chased away the herd of wild elephants. Meanwhile, a CCTV unit had recorded footage of a wild elephant encroaching into a house in Sarvodhayapuram in Pothuvel.
In some news from the cricketing arena, the Grace team led by Dasun Shanaka won the Invitational T20 cricket tournament organised by the Sri Lanka cricket yesterday. The Grace team won the team final match against the Red team led by Dinesh Chandimal by 42 runs. And that brings us to an end of this edition of Lunchtime News here on TV1. For the News First team, the voice of the people, I've been Senita Senanayaka along with my producer Ravindu Jayakodi. Take care and stay safe.